Hi, my name is Katie. I have not filmed in a minute. I got sick, my daughter got sick, my grandma got sick. It was a whole bunch of sickness. Right, of course, as soon as school is starting for my child, so that was fun. Today I just wanted to do a quick little Wegovy FAQ video. Nothing too serious, nothing too important. I just find that I keep getting asked the same questions over and over again. Not necessarily by people on the internet, but people in my real life. I've had some close friends ask me things about Wegovy. I've had random people call me because other people give my number out and ask me questions about it. I mean, I had the same questions when I first started, and some of the stuff is like, you kind of just have to wait and see. But I wanted to just kind of do like a packed up, pre-packaged FAQ sort of video. So these are questions that I get asked the most. And I'm going to start with my number one question, which is, don't you just gain all the weight back when you stop Wegovy? I'm still on Wegovy. I'm probably going to be on it forever for reasons that I will touch on later. But I have seen studies that if you lower your dose, you taper down, you're less likely to regain the weight. And another thing that I see a lot of is people who don't make adjustments to their diet and lifestyle, and then they end up gaining the weight back after they stop Wegovy. You have to really be mindful about what you eat and everything like that. I know it's easier said than done, especially if you have problems with food noise, but I do believe it's possible to keep the weight off just from what I've read. I will probably be on it forever, and I think that outweighs any, the benefit outweighs the risk there. There is side effects and things like that, but I have PCOS, and I probably will have to be on this forever until, of course, I get pregnant. But even after I get pregnant, I've already talked to my doctor, I will be getting back on it after I'm done breastfeeding. So it's possible, I believe. I've seen plenty of success stories, but I've also seen plenty of people who have gained the weight back. So I think it just depends on you, your motivation, your diet, your exercise, your lifestyle, things like that. And then there is success with people weaning off. I've also seen some people have success with going on metformin after they're done with Wegovy. So there's that too. But that is a loaded question, and it is one that I get the most. Are you going to be on it forever? Yes, I'm going to be on it forever, most likely. Off and on, I guess, if I get pregnant or whatever, but I will still most likely be on this for the rest of my life, off and on, PCOS is a lifelong thing. It doesn't go away when you go through menopause. It doesn't go away if you get a hysterectomy. With that, the insulin problems will also be there forever. So yeah, but I don't mind. I think so far it's been great, so I'm not mad about having to stay on it. We do have an appointment in 2 days to discuss going down, lowering my dose. So that's exciting. It's been over a year of this journey. I'm excited to lower the dose, be done, whatever. Next is, how much weight can you realistically lose? So I get asked this more by my close friends, I would say. Because you shouldn't just be asking people how much weight did you lose? That is just, it's personal. Some people don't want to answer that. I don't mind. Some people don't want to answer that. So in clinical trials for Wegovy, people lost 10 to 15% of their weight. I feel like that's definitely not my experience. I've lost 40% of my body weight. And it has been 18 months since I started. So in 18 months, I've lost 40% of my body weight. The next question that I get a lot of is, what are the most common side effects? For me, it's nausea, vomiting, all of those. Fatigue is a big one. The longer that I've been on it, the less side effects that I have. I feel a lot better now than I ever have. I feel great mentally. I feel great physically. I'm able to do more exercise. I'm able to just be more present throughout the day, and just less brain fog and all of the things that come with being overweight or having insulin resistance. And I feel great now, but at first the side effects were almost unmanageable. It was pretty bad at first. Not everybody gets that. Not everybody throws up and gets sick and has all the things happen. So I think it just depends on you. I already had stomach problems going into this, so I kind of knew that it would probably end up with me vomiting So, do I have to diet and exercise? I really don't think you do, because what this shot does is it suppresses your appetite and it makes it so you can't eat as much. So you're probably going to lose weight regardless of if you're dieting or exercising. I would still recommend dieting and exercising if you don't want to gain the weight back, if you ever get off of Wegovy. And, you know, the worst, at least for me, when I'm eating foods that are like not so great for you, processed, or like whatever, you know, that like have a lot of fat or even like too many carbs and things like that, that's when I start to feel sick now that I've, you know, kind of gone away from all the side effects. I still get nauseous if I eat like garbage. That could just be my body, the way that it works. My body wasn't used to eating like that even before. I've always ate healthy. I just couldn't lose weight because I had the insulin resistance. But I would say to diet and exercise if possible. At first, I was exercising and then I like stopped and then it was back on and off and on and off because of the side effects. I was just too tired. Like I know that I could have powered through it, but I didn't want to. So now I'm back to exercising regularly though, and I feel like I found something finally that is going to be a forever exercise for me. So find something that you enjoy. I know that's easier said than done because like I hate all types of physical activity, but Pilates is the one that I have found that I've been really, really enjoying. So I'm going to keep up with Pilates until it starts pissing me off, and then I'm going to search for something else. But just try all the exercises, try everything. Try Pilates, try, you know, whatever. Some people end up falling in love with things that they never thought that they would. So, can I drink alcohol? That is the next question. Yeah. Do I recommend it? Not really. On the lower doses, I would say, like, it's fine, it's whatever. You might not want to drink because it does. At least for me, it caused, like, an aversion. Like, ew, that sounds gross. I have zero interest in that. It did the same thing with a couple other things, like coffee, meat for a while. I just couldn't even, like, think about meat. But alcohol was one of those things where I was just like, ew, no thank you. And now, like, I can drink. I definitely feel worse the next day and that could just be because I'm getting old now, but like it's not worth it. Like one glass of wine, feeling that sick for one glass of wine, not worth it. The next question that I get the most is how fast can it work? So I noticed a difference like the first day that I did the shot. I noticed that like I was eating dinner and I made 2 little tacos for myself, like chicken tacos, and I couldn't finish the second one, and I was like, that's weird, because normally I could eat 2 tacos. Like 2 tacos isn't even like that big of a meal, you know what I mean? Like 2 little like street tacos. And the next day I didn't feel like breakfast, didn't feel like coffee. I got really sick in the beginning and I lost like over 10 pounds the first month. But I think a lot of that was just because I was sick. So my side effects are what caused that. But it's different for everybody. I've heard of people responding right away. I've heard of people not responding till they get all the way to the max dose. It just depends on you, your body, and all of that. So anyways, those are my most frequently asked questions that I get. Oh, you know what? There's one more. Does the shot hurt? That is a valid question. And it is a scary thing to do a shot on yourself. Like, it is scary. I sat there for like 30, 45 minutes with the shot in my hand my first couple of times doing it because I was just scared, you know? It's not something that you regularly do. So yes and no is the answer to that one. If you take your shot out of the fridge, let it sit for like a couple hours, let it get to room temperature, it's okay to do that. It's not gonna like destroy the efficacy of the medicine or anything like that. Let it sit out so it's not freezing cold when you inject because it will hurt more if it's freezing cold, you know, like going into warm blood, it's gonna hurt. Not blood, but you know. The second thing I would recommend doing is after you do your rubbing alcohol, you know, make sure the area that you're injecting is clean. Wait longer than you think you have to for it to dry, because if you do it while it's even like a little bit wet still, it will inject the rubbing alcohol into your body and then that burns really bad. The shot itself, I don't think really hurts. Occasionally, like I'll accidentally pinch myself or like I'll do it in a weird area and it'll hurt a little bit, but it's really not that bad. It's like less than a flu shot, less than a bee sting even. Unless you do it with the wet rubbing alcohol on, then I would say it kind of feels like a bee sting because it burns. But it really isn't that bad. It's like not even close to as bad as a flu shot. Your arm doesn't get sore afterwards, or wherever you do it isn't sore. I've had a couple of bruises from mine before, but now I don't get any bruises at all anymore. So I think that, I mean, it can depend on your pain tolerance, but I personally don't think it hurts too bad, and I would say I have a pretty low pain tolerance. Like, everything hurts me all the time, so I don't think it hurts. Those are all of my most asked questions about Wegovy, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or whatever, and I will do my best to answer to the best of my ability. I'm not a doctor, I am just somebody who has been on this for so long. I'm very excited for my doctor's appointment this week. I haven't seen her in person in a while, so it's gonna be awesome to like be like, hey, I've lost all this weight, let's go down a dose now. It's very exciting. I would say, like, it's so worth it. It's so worth the side effects, at least for me. Living with PCOS and insulin resistance for so long, and now kind of just being able to feel like a normal person, it's crazy. And I'm gonna cry talking about it. So before I do that, I'm gonna go subscribe, like, whatever, do all the things, and I will be back with a Wegovy diaries. I have one. I just need to get it edited. I gotta go. Okay, bye.